is Yenni Gluhareff. I am super excited to be here this afternoon. I do want to, before anything, I want to thank Teresa Weissman and Tracy Weissman's gift for putting this event together. I don't think any other dealership has done this before. It is very important, especially to recognize them as well. They have worked extremely hard, even, to include us in all of this. So please help me to welcome with... Now, just like Gina said, I'm also new to Toyota, extremely new. But I have the privilege to work with the service department. Some, and then, kind of doing other things. But for right now, I've been working mostly with the customer service, and so that puts me working very closely with the service department. So my presentation today will be mostly about servicing your car, which is a great follow-up from Gina. She shows us the lights that usually come on your dashboard and other areas. So I'm going to kind of talk to you a little bit about what you need to do about those things, okay? I have worked, of course, with the service department, service manager, our technicians. In the month of June, we have serviced 1,191 cars, just for the month of June. Toyota has serviced 1,191 cars. Does not necessarily mean just all lights. It can be, just inspections. It can be all kinds of things. But I thought it was very interesting that we see, think about it, over 1,000 cars in just 1 month is extremely wonderful. So, it is believed that the second most important investment in your life is what? Your car. That's right. It's a car. And of course that comes with responsibilities as well, just like everything else that we do. So following manuals and schedules that were created by engineers, including female engineers as well, it's definitely the best maintenance that we can do for our cars. Okay, so just a simple manual. It usually comes in every vehicle, mostly in the glove compartment box. And I know that sometimes it's a lot for us to read, but really just to pay attention to it once in a while, it's very, very important. An average person drives around 20,000 miles. An average person drives that around 20,000 miles, and if the car is not maintained once in a while, then it can definitely cause very, very many issues that can be very costly as well. So the following presentation is a checklist, and we'll keep it very basic and brief. And it's definitely easy to follow and can prevent many, many issues. I do have a question for you all. Who likes to have a pedicure and a manicure done once in a while? Very good. So do our cars. Except not in the same way. Okay? So let's take a look at our presentation. First, tires. When I think of tires, I think like shoes for us females or heels. Like today, most of us are wearing heels. So basically, when we buy a pair of shoes, they're super comfortable, right? At first, maybe. So, 6 months or whatever, and then what happens? They start to wear out. It is the same thing with the tires in your vehicle. So we have to maintain them. We have to change them once in a while. So, yes. So the tires should be rotated every 5,000 miles. Now, it usually depends with different vehicles, but the rule of thumb is that they should be rotated every 5,000 miles. And we also should check the pressure monitors, alignment, etc. When those things are not working together, then that usually wears on the tires even more. Something as simple as forgetting to do this can cause many, many issues. Now, there is our little prop, and of course this is very small to show you down here, and I'll just have it out when you guys leave. I'd love for you to take a look at this when you can. It shows the very first, of course, all the way to the right, it shows what a good thread is. So that's a very good tire. And they have made it very easy. It shows the color green. So green means good. The middle section, it's like caution. You still have about 10 to 15,000 miles to go. But you definitely want to go ahead and take care of that as soon as possible. Either plan to go ahead and do that. The one all the way to the right, of course, the color red means now. Like you need to change it immediately, because especially the thread becomes very slick And I just learned about this. I have one of those, so I will change it now, like immediately next week. So the guys in the shop, because I do go into the shop every day, and they were explaining the way that my tire look. It's in between the yellow and the red, okay? So not that bad. It's between. But they were saying, especially if it's raining, I can hydroplane, and that is extremely, extremely, very, very dangerous to do. Okay? All right, so let's do to our next slide. Oil change. Now, the oil change depends for every vehicle, okay? For the oil, you should change it every 5,000 miles. That's usually older model vehicles, and does not necessarily mean Toyota. Toyota, you can do every 10,000 miles, ladies. So all the new Toyota vehicles, usually you will change it every 10,000 miles, so that's good to know. But again, please do check your manual because every vehicle is completely different. But mostly the new Toyota models, you are changing it every 10,000 miles. So you don't have to bring it to us so often, okay? But again, you don't have to change it. We love for you just to bring it to a shop and we will take care of it for you. Now the fluids, of course the oil and the fluids, there's many, many different fluids in our vehicles. Every particular fluid has a reason to be there. So when you do take your vehicle to get the oil changed, just ask them to change your fluids or just to check them, okay? There's a couple of them that are very simple to do ourselves. I just learned this myself last year and I did it, but you don't have to do it. We will do it for you at Dingbo Toyota. Okay, next slide. Of course, the lights, I think that's one of the very simple things that we can do. I will ask you to check them once in a while, especially when your car is parked and hopefully you're not driving. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. The windshield wipers. Something, such a very, very simple piece of equipment. Okay, it has just a little rubber, a blade and a rubber. But once it starts to get wear out, it can kind of smear your windshield. And then of course it can also scratch it. And of course the windshield wiper blades are much, much cheaper than a brand new windshield. So something very simple to do. Again, you don't have to do it, you can bring it out. I'm sorry, Dingbo Toyota, that's right. Now the next slide, this is the cabin filter. I do have a little prop also. You will see it at the end of the slide. I think on the right hand side, it shows what a clean filter is. And then of course on my left, it shows what a bad or dirty cabin filter is. Now, cabin filter, what is it and what does it do? Well, first of all, it's located in the dashboard. We cannot see it unless you take the dashboard off. But it basically cleans, hang on, let me see. Here we go. It cleans the air. It also filters it, keeping the dust, pollen, and other materials out. Things that we don't want coming in through our ventilation system, and they're not good for our skin. All right, and that's it. So there again, you can see the one on the right, it's a clean filter, and the one on the left is a dirty filter, which means it needs to be changed immediately. Okay? We'll move on to the next slide. Okay, that's just the air filter. Something usually very simple that can be done in the shop as well. It is recommended that you change it frequently, especially if you have long commutes. For those of you that commute, a lot to work. I have a friend that lives in Danville and commutes to Raleigh every single day. She drives 1.5 hours each way. And so she's actually a Toyota owner and she brings her car many, many times during the year. So if you do have long commutes, that's something that is actually recommended for you to do frequently. All right, the battery. Who likes to take vacations? No, you're liars. All right, who likes to take vacations? That's much better. And why do we do that? Because we need to recharge our batteries sometimes. We need to get away from our daily routine. So we like to be, stress-free, even if it's for a week, wherever we're going. So we need to recharge our batteries, right? So the same thing with our vehicles. The battery should be checked usually twice a year. That's something that you need to be checking twice a year and see if it needs to be changed. I have a little slide at the end of this slide. This is some great information that I found out as I was kind of putting a little bit more into the presentation. We think that our batteries do worse in the winter months. At least that was my assumption. That was my personal assumption. And as I was speaking with the service manager, he was like, no, that's wrong. He says the batteries take the worst in the heat in the summer months. I did not know that. Did you know that? No? I did not know that, just because he's working even harder to keep up with everything that he's doing. Now, this particular slide I love because it shows us where, I guess we're in the blue, we're not that bad, I guess, but still that's something that you want to check it at least twice a year. Okay? We'll move on to this slide. Regular checkups, we all do it. Personally, we all go to the doctor, we go, to whatever. So, the regular checkups, it's also recommended that you do this every once in a while for your vehicle. We said earlier that a person drives around 20,000 miles on average. So it's always good to do regular checkups. This is the best way to maintain your car. Again, please, you don't have to do it. You can bring it too. Very good. Spending a little bit of money now when you come and do your maintenance, that will be something that can save you more in the long run, okay? But ladies, do not worry about any of this. Items on the list that I just showed you. At Toyota, we are ready to help you with anything that you need. Remember, Toyota is the dealer that makes the difference. Just like all of us here today, making a difference in our city and making a difference in the world. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy everything this afternoon.